Welcome back to Notes of Curiosity, exploring ideas that matter. We're diving into a real classic today. We're going back to 1950
Oh, wow.
to explore this book
Okay.
that was really ahead of its time. It's called The Human Use of Human Beings.
I've heard of this one.
Yeah, and it's by Norbert Wiener, who is considered, like the father of cybernetics.
The Father Cybernetics, yeah.
And it's
I'm
Yeah.
excited to dive in.
We're not going to be building any robots today, but
Right.
get ready because we're going to be exploring some ideas that still feel super relevant even now,
Yeah.
like decades later.
It's really amazing how some of these books written like 70 years ago, they still resonate,
Totally.
so much with what's going on today.
So first things first, for anyone who's not familiar with cybernetics,
Right.
what exactly are we talking about?
Cybernetics, yeah. It's not about robots, although a lot of people think that. It's
Yeah.
about understanding systems.
Okay.
Any systems from machines to societies by looking at how they communicate and control themselves.
Okay.
So it's about information flow and feedback loops and how those things shape the behavior of the whole system.
Gotcha. So how does a mathematician end up writing a book, with such a kind of philosophical title? Like, tell us about Norbert Wiener.
Yeah, he was a fascinating guy.
Okay.
He was a child prodigy.
Really?
Got his PhD from Harvard when he was only 18.
Wow, 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he went on to make all these groundbreaking contributions in math and engineering and philosophy.
Wow.
But I think the cool thing about this book, The Human Use of Human Beings, is that Wiener really brings together all these different fields
Yeah.
to look at how technology impacts human society.
And he was writing this in the 1950s, right?
Yeah.
Like when the world was still recovering from World War II and
That's
just starting to enter the computer age?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was really seeing the power of technology firsthand, but also the potential for it to be misused, right?
For sure, yeah.
I mean, he was really struck by how similar the first and second industrial revolutions were.
Oh, interesting.
He actually wrote, and I'm going to quote him here, he said, "The first industrial revolution, the revolution of the dark satanic mills, was the devaluation of the human arm by the competition of machinery. There is no rate of pay at which a United States pick-and-shovel laborer can live, which is low enough to compete with the work of a steam shovel as an excavator."
Wow.
So he saw that first industrial revolution as about machines replacing physical labor.
Okay.
And he saw the second industrial revolution, the computer revolution, as doing the same thing to the human mind.
That's a really, that's a powerful way to frame it.
Yeah.
So he was basically like predicting the rise of automation and, all the effects that could have.
Yeah, and not just on jobs, but on society as a whole, right? Like,
yeah, okay.
he thought understanding cybernetics was, like, crucial to navigating this new world and to making sure that technology serves people.
Right, not the other way around.
Exactly.
Which,
Go ahead.
which kind of brings us to, I think, one of the big ideas in the book, which is entropy, right?
Yes, Herton.
He uses this idea from physics
Right.
to talk about how both machines and societies kind of tend to move towards disorder over time.
Yeah. It's like, imagine a brand new car,
Okay.
fresh off the assembly line, right? It's organized, everything's working, it's in its place.
Yeah.
That's a state of low entropy.
Okay.
But then over time, parts wear down, right?
Yeah.
Things break.
Right.
It becomes less organized.
Well,
That's entropy at play.
gotcha.
And Wiener's argument is that societies are kind of like that too.
Okay.
They have to actively work against entropy to stay organized and complex.
So to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
So what does that work look like, for a society?
Well, for Wiener, it's all about communication and control.
Okay.
He really emphasizes the role of language, not just for information,
Okay.
but also for building relationships
Right.
and creating shared meaning,
Interesting.
like shaping our whole understanding of the world.
There's a really interesting section where he goes deep on language.
Yes,
He talks about the mechanism of it,
he does.
history of it, how it evolved and how different cultures have used it.
Yeah, he believed that language is what sets humans apart from machines.
Okay.
And he saw learning and communication as these different modes of behavior.
Okay.
And he wondered if those could be replicated in machines, which is basically,
Like AI.
yeah, like artificial intelligence.
He was thinking about that back then.
Back in the 50s.
That's wild.
It's incredible foresight.
Yeah, that is incredible foresight.
He even talks about these future communication machines that would revolutionize how we talk to each other.
Wow.
And remember, this is way before the internet.
Right.
Before smartphones, before social media.
It's almost like he predicted affected the world we're living in now.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, but he wasn't just, like, excited about all this,
Right.
right? He was also aware of the potential downside.
Exactly.
Like what?
He worried about communication breakdowns,
Okay.
about too much information, and losing privacy.
Like information overload.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny because we kind of, complain about that all the time today.
All the time.
Like too much information, turn it
Yes.
off.
And he had this great quote. He said,
What's the quote?
"Information is information, not matter or energy.
Mm-hmm.
No materialism which does not admit this can survive at the present day."
That's a powerful quote,
Yeah.
especially today.
It's so relevant.
Yeah, when we're bombarded with information
Constantly.
all the time, everywhere.
It's like he was prophetic.
It really does seem that way.
Yeah. And he was also really concerned about technology being misused, right?
Okay.
Used to divide people
Uh-huh.
or to manipulate or to control. He thought scientists and intellectuals had like a moral obligation to guide the development of technology.
So it's not just about building cool stuff.
Right.
It's about thinking about what that stuff's going to do.
Yeah, we can't just build things and hope for the best, right?
Right.
We have to think about the consequences.
Right.
He believed technology could make a more just and equal society.
Okay.
But he also saw how it could make inequality worse.
That's interesting.
He argued that the choices we make about technology determine our future.
So big picture, what do you think is Wiener's most enduring message?
I think it's his belief in the importance of human values in
Yes.
shaping technology.
Mm-hmm.
He saw cybernetics not just as like a technical field,
Okay.
but as a way to understand the world and our place in it.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying technology isn't neutral.
Right.
It reflects the values of the people who create it.
And the people who use it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
We have the power to shape our future.
We're not just along for the ride. So for anyone listening who's like intrigued by all this, why should they pick up this book?
It's a tough read,
Okay.
but it's so rewarding.
Okay.
It gives you this totally unique perspective on how technology and society connect. And his ideas are still relevant today.
Yeah. Yeah.
His call for using technology responsibly is like more important than ever.
So true.
It'll make you think about the world we're creating and
Yeah.
the choices we make in this digital age.
So I'm going to leave everyone with a final question.
Okay.
Inspired by Wiener's work,
Mm-hmm.
in an age of AI,
Right.
where the line between humans and machines is getting blurrier and blurrier, what does it actually mean to be human? Think about it.
Good one.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
And until next time, keep diving deep.
Deep diving.